A hush falls over the House chamber as Jasmine Crockett's voice slices through the noise, her words echoing with disbelief and defiance. "Are you seriously asking the American people to foot the bill for Donald Trump's legal mess?" The question hangs in the air, heavy and electric. Lawmakers shift in their seats, some stunned, others bristling. Cameras zoom in, capturing the flicker of shock on faces across the aisle. For a split second, the usual partisan bickering is replaced by a raw, collective tension. Crockett's eyes scan the room, unwavering, daring anyone to answer. The silence is deafening. But as murmurs begin to swell, no one is prepared for what she's about to unleash next. The House Oversight Committee sits beneath the glare of national attention, every word and gesture broadcast to a country hungry for answers. The question on the table is as explosive as it is unprecedented. Should ordinary Americans be forced to pay for the legal troubles of a former president? For millions watching at home, this debate is more than a budget line. It's a test of the nation's conscience, a battle over who gets protected and who gets left behind. Jasmine Crockett, known for her unflinching honesty and refusal to play political games, now finds herself at the center of the storm. Allies hope she'll speak truth to power. Critics wait for her to falter. The stakes are nothing less than the integrity of American democracy. As the cameras roll and the tension mounts, one question pulses through the chamber and across the country. Will Crockett stand her ground, or will the weight of the establishment force her into silence? Across the aisle, the Republican committee members sit with practiced confidence, their loyalty to Trump on full display. They exchange knowing glances, some with faint smirks curling at the corners of their mouths, others rolling their eyes as Crockett speaks. For them, this hearing is just another opportunity to shield their party's figurehead, to dismiss calls for accountability as partisan attacks. The cameras catch whispered jokes and quiet laughter, a private language of power that signals their certainty in the outcome. Flashbacks flicker in the public's memory, moments from past hearings where these same faces dodged direct questions, twisted facts, and turned every challenge into a spectacle. They've belittled opponents, mocked witnesses, and spun narratives with the ease of seasoned performers. Yet, as the debate over Trump's legal fees intensifies, something different lingers in the air. The bravado feels thinner, the jokes more forced. For the first time, uncertainty flickers behind their eyes. The nation senses it too. The old playbook isn't working, and the pressure is mounting. But what no one realizes is just how close the facade is to cracking wide open. Jasmine Crockett's story doesn't begin in the marble corridors of Congress, but in a modest neighborhood where dreams were hard-won and justice was never guaranteed. Raised by parents who taught her the value of honesty and hard work, she learned early that the world doesn't hand out fairness. You have to fight for it. As a young attorney, she took on cases others wouldn't touch, standing up for those who had no voice. She saw the system's cracks up close, families torn apart, promises broken, power abused. Each battle left its mark, but also deepened her resolve. When she entered public service, it wasn't for glory. It was for the people who reminded her of home, the ones who still believed in the promise of America. The journey hasn't been easy. There were nights when the weight of hate mail threatened to drown out her purpose, when exhaustion pressed in, and the odds seemed insurmountable. But then came the messages of hope, letters from young women, immigrants and working families who saw themselves in her fight. These moments, both bitter and bright, became her armor. It was these struggles, not her victories, that forged the unbreakable resolve she would need for moments exactly like this. The atmosphere in the chamber grows volatile as Republicans, sensing the threat to their narrative, go on the offensive. They accuse Democrats of orchestrating a witch hunt, of turning the hearing into nothing more than political theater. Their words are sharp, their tone mocking, as they attempt to shift the spotlight away from Trump's legal troubles and onto their favorite talking points. The volume rises, each side trying to outshout the other, the air thick with accusation and deflection. Some members pound the table, others interrupt, and the chair's gavel struggles to restore order. Through it all, Jasmine Crockett sits steady, her expression unreadable, refusing to be baited by the chaos swirling around her. She listens, absorbing every barb and every attempt to undermine her. The tension is electric, the stakes higher with every passing second. It feels as if the truth itself is at risk of being drowned out by the noise. But just as the uproar threatens to spiral out of control, Crockett leans forward, her hand steady on the microphone, ready to cut through the clamor with a voice that demands to be heard. Jasmine Crockett's voice slices through the uproar, calm and unwavering. She begins not with anger, but with clarity, laying out the facts that have been lost in the shouting. "Let's be clear," she says, her gaze steady. "This isn't about party loyalty. This is about whether the American people should pay for the legal consequences of one man's choices." She cites the numbers, millions in mounting legal fees, the unprecedented nature of the request, and the precedent it would set for future leaders. Each point lands with the weight of truth, exposing the contradictions in her opponent's arguments. She reminds the room of their own words, replaying past statements about fiscal responsibility and the rule of law, holding up their hypocrisy for all to see. As she speaks, the room grows still. Even those who moments ago jeered now listen, caught off guard by her composure and command. Crockett's final words hang in the air, impossible to ignore. "If you truly believe in law and order, then why are you shielding someone who breaks it?" The silence is absolute, the impact undeniable. Outside the chamber, the world reacts in real time. Clips of her speech flood social media, hashtags trend, and supporters and critics alike are forced to reckon with her challenge. News anchors replay her words, commentators scramble to respond, and even political opponents are left momentarily speechless. But the real shock comes not from what Crockett said, but from the tidal wave of response that sweeps across the nation. Within minutes, the digital world erupts. Twitter timelines fill with clips of Crockett's takedown, her words replayed and remixed by supporters who hail her as a new champion of accountability. TikTok creators lip-sync her mic drop moment, while memes of stunned Republican faces spread like wildfire. News anchors break into regular programming to analyze her speech, and hashtags like #Crockett Clapback and #Hold Them Accountable rocket to the top of the trends. Even celebrities join the chorus, tweeting their admiration and sharing the video with millions. Critics scramble to reframe the narrative, but their talking points are drowned out by a groundswell of public support. Reaction videos pour in from every corner of the country. Immigrants, students, working parents, each one finding validation in Crockett's courage. Suddenly the debate isn't confined to the marble halls of Congress. It's alive in every living room, every group chat, every trending feed. The ripple effect is undeniable. Jasmine Crockett's stand has become a national moment, and the country is watching, waiting to see what comes next. As the headlines swirl and the nation debates, Jasmine Crockett's message rises above the noise. She reminds the country, this isn't about party lines, it's about the principle that no one is above the law. Her words echo far beyond the chamber, calling Americans to a higher standard. She urges unity, not division, dignity, not derision, and the courage to speak truth to power no matter the cost. In her resolve, people see a reflection of their own hopes for justice and fairness. "In moments like these," she says, "America remembers who we are and who we can be." The lesson lingers, an invitation to stand together for what's right, and to believe once again in the promise of democracy. Jasmine Crockett's fearless stand, grilling Republicans over Trump's legal fees, has gone viral for a reason. In a moment that demanded moral clarity, she delivered, reminding us all why civic engagement matters. This isn't just her fight, it's a call for every American who believes in truth and accountability. If you stand for justice, if you want your voice to count, subscribe, share, and join the movement. Your voice matters now more than ever. Let's shape the future together.